I'll respond certainly on the Armenian Genocide recognition question. I mean, you know, this should never have been and should never be controversial, right? It certainly should never be a conflict among morals. Morality, history, facts are only on one side of this argument. And yet, you know, starting in the 1980s, you have a government, right, that has invested billions and billions of dollars and a lot of leverage as a member of NATO, leverage as previously at least a secular, you know, Muslim democracy. And that was a lot on one side of the leverage. So in that sense, other interests were implicated for leaders of Western countries, certainly in the United States, European countries. But, you know, to pull back from one litmus test, which is the great disappointment that many of you feel, and that I, as a member of the Obama administration, feel in the fact that President Obama did not formally recognize the genocide in the 8 years that he was in office. You know, something for which, you know, many, many people lobbied, outside, inside, and it didn't happen. And that's something that I know is very painful for people. It's certainly very painful for those of us who promised you that it would happen. But that is not the litmus test, or that is not at least the only litmus test for whether the efforts of the kind, Salpi, that you're describing, or the kind that Vartan and Ruben and Nubar and so many of you here have made to secure recognition. You can choose to focus on that on-off switch, or you could focus on the fact that it's completely embarrassing for US officials to kind of, you know, contort and, you know, dissemble and give these long answers because it's so obvious that there was a genocide and that they can't say it because a NATO member that is a partner on fighting terrorism is bullying them and blackmailing them. And bullying and blackmailing should never be rewarded, but no one who's listening to that happen has any question in their mind about what the facts are. You could focus on what Germany, which was an ally of a genocidal government at the time, has done, what France has done, what the Pope has done, and what, you know, so many states, I forget the latest number of states in the United States who comprise the United States, have done, what young people are learning. My young son, you know, who was born on Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day, April 24th, not only do we light an extra candle for him every year, we light a candle for the Armenians, you know, in my house. And that's just, it's just fact, it's truth. And so Turkey can continue to bully and bulldoze and try to blackmail, and maybe it'll work, and maybe there'll be contingencies or interests or policies, as you put it. But this debate, you know, as a matter of historical record, has been settled because of the efforts of Armenians and the Armenian diaspora and Armenian descendants to tell the stories of what happened to their people, because of the documentation, the painstaking, excruciatingly painful, you know, efforts by survivors and their descendants to tell those stories, to be re-traumatized, like survivors of other violence have allowed themselves to have happen to them, simply for the sake of trying to make the world better. And in this case, the only way you make the world better is by respecting history and by recognizing facts. And the fact that it didn't happen again, it's a huge regret of mine. The fact that President Obama, you know, that we did not do that while he was in office. But I wouldn't miss the larger picture here. You know, this is not a debate that serious people take seriously.